So, a huge part about the RCR system being online is that it allows for you to be able to pull reports much easier than in past when our RAs would have to submit work orders through a Google form and then we'd export it, or we'd have to have a separate list for furniture. The way that we've built these RCRs, whether it be for check in or check out, it allows us to pull reports pretty easily here on THD. So, this is the main THD site, so not the THD mobile where the RAs are using to interact with RCR input or checking students in and out, but rather the main THD page. And so when you log in, you should have this file, this column here that says RCR/damages. You're going to click on the room inspection thing. And then for this one, I use spring just because we have the data here. But for August, you'll make sure that you're in fall 2019 term. And then make sure that the date here is before your RA started doing inspections. So potentially some of your buildings may have gotten RCR'd in July. By some of our CA staff for early arrivals, or just making sure that you kind of put a date early enough that you can get the most accurate data. This here is just a general room inspection. So this is the idea of when a student checks in or out. What we're going to be looking for is inventory inspections. So you'll click here and say that you are interested in looking for the checkout process. If you're looking for all the work orders that were submitted, you can see here there's a ton, and so we'll just narrow it down to Heron. That way, you can see here all of the work orders that were from Heron Hall during our checkout process. And this is an easy way to be able to kind of keep track of what's going on in your building. Maybe there is just a few work orders or a lot, but these are the lists that we'll end up sending over to FMS. Just for check-in or check-out, we'll send these lists over in this format rather than sending each individual work order. To get this to export, you would go up to File. If my mouse wants to work. Nope. Okay. It's a learning process, but you would be able to go to File and export this screen. This grid is what it's called, just like you could export a report from THD. And so it would come out and it would have all this information that's there. This is really helpful for our partners over at FMS. For furniture concerns, just the same, you'd be able to pull up a list here. And this is actively getting updated. So as your students are going through and doing check-in RCRs, you're able to see this list, and so kind of getting an idea of how many headboards you might need, or if you need to get a new desk from Russell Storage during the check-in time. This is really going to be the most effective way for you to be able to see different things going on in the building. All of our RCRs are going to be preset to like new. So if your RAs are going through and selecting slightly used, that's what's going to show up here. We haven't used that feature yet. That's why there's no data here. But making sure that your RAs are writing active comments for slightly used. No one should have a condition of slightly used without having details listed next to it. And so here you'll be able to see those comments. Like you can see for furniture concern, there are always comments here. We want to make sure that we are not listing something that isn't like new or no change without information on this side here, because it's not helpful for us just to have those words. We really need the RAs to put comments there. After you've kind of been looking through this and maybe you go and look and you were able to fix the middle drawer in Heron 219, or you were able to get something completed that wasn't, maybe the RA wrote something, but they actually meant to say something else. What you can do is you can double click on this report here. So it will take you directly to, it should take you directly to Heron 209 or 219. And you'll be able to see, I don't know why. It would take you here, and so you'd be able to see that it says, sorry, y'all. We're trying. So it's Heron 19. So when you are here, you also can search this individually by room numbers and things like that, but it's much easier to be able to click from there. I had reset all of these different items to say like new, which is why it's no longer popping up like this. But here, you can see that it says furniture concerns and the top drawer sticks. You'd be able to change that feature from here. So say you're able to go and adjust the top drawer and get it to work perfectly. You could then now change it to say like new, and then you'd want to erase that comment. So that way, if the most updated thing is then saved into that report like that. And so that is now the newest saved item. Um, this is going to be helpful when you are um, doing check-in or doing RCR process in August as your RAs are still learning this, to be able to kind of just backtrack and update behind them to make sure that we have the most accurate data available. Um, we'll talk about this more in person, but just so you know, a student is able to access their RCRs, which is why we are using this system. So if you go to their, not all, you won't be able to see this on your side, but just so you have an idea, that our students are able to click on their housing portal and they're able to see their room condition report. And you're able to go in and review it on their side, so they can see exactly what was listed for all of their conditions of their room. Like if there's a small mark on the drawer, if we had charged them for wall damage, it would say small damage here, and that notes would be there. And so they're able to kind of see this. They're able to see this accurately, as most up to date as we do it. So if you go and change it, you could see here that there was more than one checkout for Abby. And that was because I was doing a test on her. So she has two different things for check-in, is because I was trying to figure it out. So just so you know, every time you save those things, they will update on the student side as well.